Hello guys, welcome back to the KARANJA'S. As you guys all know, we are in the beginning of a new fiscal year for the DV-2026 entry. And in today's video, I just want to go through what information they need on the form and show you guys what you need to be ready with. The period for applying is from October 2nd, that is from today at noon Eastern Standard Time, all the way to November the 5th. So it's almost like 1 month and few days. So the information that is required on the form is as follows. The first information is obvious, your name, which will start with your last family name, first name, and middle name. I know so many people have asked about if you don't have a middle name, if you don't have the last name, there's a way you can be able to go about that. There's a small box on the form where you tick no middle name or no last name. So that should not be something you are worried about. The other thing is the gender. Are you male or female? You know, actually nowadays it's so hard to know who is a male or a female. You can just assume that so and so is a male or so and so is a female. So you are the one who know which gender you associate yourself with. The third thing will be the date of birth. When were you born? The day, start with the day, the month, and then the year. Some other countries, they start with the month, day, and year. So when you are filling in the form, make sure you check not to make an error when you are filling it in. Start with the day, month, and then the year. The fourth thing is the city where you were born. Where were you born? So most of this information should be on your birth certificate. So if you have a birth certificate, if you have a passport, you'll get all this information from there. The fifth thing is country where you were born. And the country where you were born is the same thing you put for the country of eligibility, unless otherwise. There are some other ways of being eligible if you are not from an eligible country. Like let's say you're from Nigeria and Nigeria is not eligible for the DV. So you can use your spouse's country of birth. Or if your parents were born in a different place, you can use their country of where they were born to be eligible. So country where you are born, that is the country of eligibility. So the sixth is the country of eligibility. We have touched on that. The seventh is entrant photographs. Don't forget, we have always talked about the photographs each and every time we come to do the videos, because this is one of the most important thing. This is one of the things that disqualifies so many people. So make sure your photo meets the requirement. And the next video, actually, I'm gonna emphasize more on the photographs. I'm gonna do a detailed video on all the requirements of the photographs. Again, I know this is like the 10th time, but we're gonna do it again. So the other thing is the mailing address. So mailing address is where you want your mail to be mailed just in case. But nowadays they don't do the mailing, but you have to have an address where you want your mail to be sent to. So this address don't have to be where you reside. You can have an address. If you don't have an address, you can use somebody else's address, but remember to include that person in care of when you're filling the address. The address will include address line 1, address line 2, where it is the city and town, and then the province, the district, and the country. Then other thing will be, number 9 will be the country where you live today. So assuming you're born in Kenya, I'm gonna use Kenya as an example, but you live in Dubai. So country where you live today will be Dubai. The number 10 is optional. That is your phone number. It doesn't have to be filled. That's optional. Number 11 is your email address. This part 2 is very crucial. The email address is an active email address where you will be receiving updates, and the email address you're going to use on this form is the same email address you're going to use when you're checking whether you have won come May 5th. So you want to fill in an email address that is active, an email address that you can remember, and an email address preferably that you own. You can use anybody's email address, but don't forget you want to be the first hand when you are accessing your information so that you are not late on anything. Number 12, it will ask you about your highest level of education. This one, as you know, for the eligibility, you have to have completed high school. So they have many choices. They have primary school only, some high school, no diploma. High school diploma is the one that means you have completed high school and you have a certificate. They have other choices like vocational school, some university courses, university degrees, some graduate level courses, masters, and doctorate. So the thing is, on this one, I would like to make it simple. I have a degree, don't worry about the degree. The minimum requirement is the high school. I'll just put the high school if I had completed high school and I have the qualifying grade that is needed. If the qualifying grade is not attained, then that's when you can include the university. You want to make it easy for you when you go ahead, if you become a winner, you know. The other thing is the 13th is the marital status. So on marital status, are you married or not? Are you single? They'll ask some few questions there. They'll give you choices. Unmarried, married, and my spouse is not a US citizen. Married and my spouse is a US citizen, or hold a US permanent resident card. Divorced, widowed, and legally separated. So if you are married and both of you are still in Kenya, that's when you feel you're married and my spouse is not a US citizen. So that is number 13. Number 14, it will ask you about the number of children you have. So if you have children that are below the age of 21, that's when you're gonna include them there. If your children are above the age of 21, then they are not children anymore, they are adults. And that's gonna be filled in as no children, because you are not moving with these children if they are above the age of 21. There's another tricky question I have come across. So if your child is 20 when you're filling in the DV, you will include them because they are still under the age of 21. As long as when you filled in the DV, they were below 21, then they will be considered as part of beneficiaries of your DV. So children have categories. So your children are your blood children, your adopted children, legally adopted children, or all step children who are unmarried and they are still under the same age limit of below 21. So that's all the information that will be included in this form. So when you feel you have a kid, then you'll get to the part 2 where it will ask you about their details, name, date of birth, yeah, stuff like that. The purpose of this video is to remind you that the time is now. As you all guys know, it happens once every year, and we should all take advantage of this time. And the other thing is, I wish you guys all the best. I know most of you will meet here one day, and we believe that God is gonna make a way for you guys. Don't forget, the next video we're gonna be talking about the photo again and again. So until then, see you.